Hello everybody, Accureye here, and welcome back to another Overwatch video. So in today's video, I thought we'd talk about the importance of playing the tank role. This is of course a role that many people, I think, don't really understand. In fact, I don't think in many games people understand if you have a role-based system. You don't understand the roles, and I want to help clear this up because obviously, while I think this might work with MOBAs, I'm not entirely sure. I can't say for sure what I'm going to be talking about in Overwatch works in MOBAs, but Overwatch does have a role system, and because Overwatch does have a role system, it's important to know the roles and learn how to play the roles, because when you know how to play the roles, when you know your role, it's much easier to get into a game and pretty much be known to be like, wow, that is a great player. And so the tank role is basically you are the damage absorber of the team. You are basically, in many ways, the roadblock of the team. And if you're not playing as the roadblock of the team as a tank, you pretty much are going to be letting down your team. Now, it doesn't matter what role you play as. It doesn't matter who you play as when it comes to being a tank in the tank role. Your main job, you are always going to have the most health. The tank role, like I said, is not going to see many kills, but they are basically the roadblock for the opposing team. And that's exactly what they do, is they roadblock, they absorb damage, and they pretty much make it to where the team can't really progress. Like, your opponents can't really progress, no matter what they try to do. And like I said, that is exactly what you're trying to do. You're not going to see many kills as a tank. In fact, in many ways, as a tank, you're not going to see too many kills at all. Tanks are probably by far one of the lowest set killers compared to every other role. Like, compared to being a support role, compared to being a offensive role like a DPS, compared to being like a tank or a sniper or whatever role. A scout or whatever. As a tank, you are getting the least amount of action when it comes to taking down people. And this is because, like I said, mostly you are a roadblock. When it comes to being a tank, you are a roadblock. And if you're trying to get kills as a tank, you're pretty much not doing your job. As it is, many players love having, K to D, or kill to death ratios. And, for most people, I think when it comes down to it, this is stemmed on Fortnite. In Fortnite, it's easy to kind of go, oh, you're a great player if you got a huge K to D. But, in shooter games, that's not exactly the case. For most shooters outside of Battle Royale genre, or outside the Battle Royale, everyone has a role to play. Everyone has a goal to meet. And if you're not meeting that goal, especially like in Overwatch, for instance, you're not playing as a tank and you're just trying to get kills, for instance, or get points based on defeating your opponent, then you're basically not doing your job. Let's face it, you're not doing your job. As a tank, you're not meant to be the flat out, KDD player, or getting all the glory of having eliminations in the case of like Overwatch. You're basically a roadblock, and that's exactly how you're supposed to play, it's basically being a roadblock. Maybe every once in a while you'll get an action and you'll get an elimination. But 9 out of 10 times you're never going to see action as a tank, because you have to protect everybody. Your job is to protect everybody, and that is what makes you a great teammate. As you can see here, we got people like this Winston who's just trying to go out for a flat-out kill or flat-out eliminations, and they're not doing their job to protect their team from not getting eliminated, not getting roadblocked, not getting, basically not getting, getting some actual, some actual progress done. And you can see here, I'm basically playing my role exactly as expected, which is to be the roadblock. On the defense end, the tank plays as the roadblock. The tank is the person that you rely on and you look at to kind of stop the other team, to kind of fall back and make it to where the other team can't really have a stand or a limb to stand on, you know. On the offensive end, as an attacker, the tank is meant to keep the team moving forward, keep the team pushing, you know, and let their offense take on the job of being of getting the glory of you know, taking down their opponents. The tank on the offensive end is, like I said, is the pusher. They are the thing. They are the battering ram. In many ways, you can think of a tank on the attacking side as the battering ram, and on the opposing side or the defensive side, the tank is basically the roadblock. It's it's the wall that stands between you and whatever the team is trying to do. Think of it as a case of course, in many ways, think of it like this when it comes to playing a game of Overwatch and looking at the rules. In many ways, the tank is the castle's defense. The tank is the castle's gate or door in a way. In a way, on the defensive side, the tank is the defense. It's the battering. It's basically the door that blocks the opposing team from actually entering. And I know I'm going to put some RTS strategy in this, but think of it that way. The tank on the offensive end is basically the battering ram. It is the battering ram. It's what's going to break the door, or of course, fail at breaking the door and get busted. And that's exactly what the tank's job is. The DPS is basically your archers. They're basically your cavalry. In many ways, on the offensive end, the DPS is basically your cavalry. It is the thing. It's what charges and creates the glory, and what helps the battering ram get through the door. And of course, on the defensive end, you can think of the DPS as your archers. They're basically the archers that are you know, stopping the cavalry from getting the battering ram to the door. And then of course you got your support role. The support role, of course, or the healer role, of course, is they are basically the people who are refortifying the base defense. If the walls go down because of catapults or whatever on the defensive end, they are refortifying the base. They are basically making it to where the base doesn't fall. And on the offensive end, think of the support units as the catapults, as the catapults that are throwing that are launching the rocks or whatever, you know, into the walls to break the walls down and hopefully give soldiers or the DPS a way in, you know. And that's exactly what your roles are. But hopefully this has helped you learn more about the tank and become better at the tank. Thank you everyone for joining me on this video. If you like this video, you know what to do. Hit that like button, get subscribed, hit that bell notification, because I know you want to know when my next video drops next. You can follow me for something competitive or whatever I'm doing live on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/Accureye. I am live on Twitch, you know, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday for about 4 to 6 hours. Usually it's been about close to 5 hours lately. I am going to try to make a 6-day week schedule, which will be Monday and Tuesday, which will be 2 to 3 hour streams, probably around 2 hours or so. And then of course, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday will be the normal 4 to 6 hour stream. And of course, on Sunday will be a bonus stream of 2 or so hours. But with that being said, thank you everyone for joining me on this video. And until the next one, this is Accureye signing out and saying farewell, everyone.